Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text number 33. Yesham sansmaranat pumsam sadhya sujyanti vaigruhaha King punar darshana sparsha pada sauchashanadibihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Simply by our remembering you, our houses became instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The importance of holy places of pilgrimage is due to the presence of great sages and saints. It is said that sinful persons go to the holy places and leave their sins there to accumulate. But the presence of the great saints disinfects the accumulated sins, and thus the holy places continue to remain sanctified by the grace of the devotees and saints present there. If such saints appear in the homes of worldly people, certainly the accumulated sins of such worldly enjoyers become neutralized. Therefore, the holy saints actually have no self-interest with the householders. The only aim of the saints is to sanctify the houses of the householders, and householders therefore should feel grateful when such saints and sages appear at their doors. A householder who dishonors such holy orders is a great offender. It is enjoined, therefore, that a householder who does not bow down before a saint at once must undergo fasting for the day in order to neutralize the great offense. In this shloka, Maharaj Parikshit, who is a great devotee, he is wonderful describing the power of saintly persons. The saintly persons are so wonderful that they have the power to purify even the holy places, which is full of sins, because people come and take bath there and they leave sins there. And holy persons sanctify even the holy places. And wherever they go, they have only one intention: how to relieve people of their sins so that they are always happy. And unfortunately, in the modern civilization, because people are not trained in spiritual life, they don't know the importance of saintly persons. And because of lack of the association, people are becoming more and more materialistic, more and more sinful, and as a result of sinful acts, the world is facing lot of trouble, lot of natural disasters and wars. Nowadays, this war news has become a common thing. We are used to it. There was an article in New York Times which said in the last 3,400 odd years of recorded history, only about 300 odd years humans were at full peace. When they say full peace, they say War means an active conflict where 1,000 people and above die. They're referring to this. They say in the beginning of 21st century, there were 30 active wars in the world. In the 20th century, about 10 crore people died because of wars. And because of these wars, trillions of dollars are simply wasted. One is to fight and also to maintain the military across the world. And this number is only increasing. This is only a weapon war. Now there are different varieties of wars. Trade war. Yes, in the trade war, yes, there are sanctions, there are tariffs, which is causing a lot of anxiety. And then there are biological wars. There are chemical wars. I think as Kali Yuga progresses, more and more varieties of wars get invented. And each war is so disturbing. So let us understand and analyze from the Vedic perspective why these wars are increasing in spite of so much of advancement of human society. Literacy rates are increasing, people are becoming more and more scientific. This is a globalized world, but still wars are increasing. Let's understand from Vedic perspective. Srila Prabhupada says, the primary reason for increase in wars is people being godless. Especially the leaders, when they are godless, they think everything that is happening in this world is by chance. It is by accident. And any success that comes, it is because of their personal ability. It is because of their endeavor. It's me, my, self-centric. They give no credit to the Lord. They give no credit to the higher authorities who are actually making sure that everything happens nicely in this world. They have no sense. Even if by simple logic you can make out that how many wonderful things happening in the world are beyond our control. So these people don't give credit, and that's how they become more and more self-centric. And technically, when you declare God, when you don't follow the Vedic scriptures, that is when you are called godless, and then the problem starts. If there is anyone who's trying to excel you, you brand him as an enemy. You don't want anybody else to progress except yourself. And then if somebody is progressing, he is your enemy number one, and this enmity keeps on increasing. This enmity is not just between nations. It will be between persons, between colleagues, between family members, communities, societies. It goes on. And such godless people think that they can live at the sacrifice of others. They can exploit others. And this exploitative tendency will make them, to wage a war. They like wars, especially when you're power, you want to show off, you want to wage a war. When Hiranyaksha met Varaha Swami, he first asked, fight me, I want war. And for you to wage a war, you need weapons. And that's when the natural tendency is to invent more and more weapons. So on every Republic Day, we'll see in every country in the world, you'll see the road show of weapons, display of weapons. And newer weapons are getting invented. And the recent war in Kashmir was a drone war, the war of drones. You see, varieties of weapons are coming up. So this godless thinking is what impels people to progress towards war. The second reason Prabhupada says is animal killing. There's a beautiful quote of Prabhupada. He says, by encouraging animal slaughter, the whole atmosphere become polluted and more war, pestilence, famine and many other unwanted calamities will come. Lord has placed spirit, soul in different bodies. He has asked them to live in those bodies as per their desire for a specific purpose. Now, when you kill an animal, you are displacing the desire of Lord. And animal is also in so much of anxiety. Prabhupada says the reaction, as a reaction to the anxiety of these animals, wars takes place. In this world, more and more slaughterhouses are being built, and as the number increases, Prabhupada says every 5th or 10th year there is a war in this world. And as devotees, we might wonder, how can people even think of killing? You see, when you have there is nuclear energy, you can produce electricity. Okay, that is understandable. Why do you create nuclear bombs? Because you know it's going to create so much of havoc. Recently, there was a remembrance of Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombing. How one bomb killed 1 lakh people. And then 1 more lakh in next few years as an effect of war. So much of killing. How can you ever think of do it? What is this mentality? Sometimes devotees wonder, is it ever possible? In fact, interestingly, in Bhagavad Gita, 1st chapter, Krishna says, Adharma bhivavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyaha strishu dustasya varshneya jayete varana shankaraha. Krishna is telling, he is speaking of something known as varana shankaraha. That is, when people who are not trained in Vedic literature, they don't practice the Vedic scriptures, and when they beget children, and sometimes children with such mentality are born. So by birth, certain mentalities are born. Good population is very important in society if you want to live peacefully, happily. And if you want good population, good training is required. Nothing is free in this world. There is spiritual training. The women were very well trained, and men were also very responsible in spiritual life. Men have become irresponsible, they don't follow Vedic scriptures, and they exploit. And women also, because they are not trained, and there is adultery. In our society now, lot of crime happens because of extramarital affairs, because of live-in relationships. Many things are happening. Divorce rates are increasing. All these are happening because of godlessness. So people have to be very well trained, especially the women has to be trained. Children are born. The training begins even in the womb. They have to be properly trained. And then our Vedic system was very well equipped to train the entire society to be God conscious. And that is called Varna Ashrama. The moment when you say Varna, it is very dangerous. People think there is discrimination. But there is no discrimination. If there is a system in society which is non-discriminatory, then this is actually the Varnas and Ashrama that Krishna has recommended. Krishna has made our life simple through this system. He has recognized that every one of us have certain natural inclinations, which is also there in modern society. They say, you do what you love to do. Don't be forced by your family, by your friends, by society. What is your heart? What is your internal calling? Do what you do. So Krishna is also saying same thing. So he's saying, of course, in a more systematic way, and you have to be properly recognized what is your natural inclination. So he says, if you have desire to do research, if you're intellectual, please read well, teach others. If you have desire to do commerce, get into business. If you are more of a leadership, you can get into administration. Or if you think even all these three things are too much bothering you, don't worry. Lead a simple life, help these three people and be happy. Now, you might say, oh, somebody say administrator, he has power, he is superior. Then somebody who's helping him might look inferior. This problem is there in this world. In this world, yes, there is the people let's say the CEO of a company. He has a lot of money. He has a big car. And he is superior. His driver will always be inferior. Although he might say we are all equal. He might say. But it's a fact. But in spiritual sense, the end results of all these four divisions is same. That is Krishna. So, because the end result is same, there is actually equality. So, Krishna is telling, you teach and you go back to Godhead. You administer, you go back to Godhead. You do business and you go back to Godhead. You help others and go back to Godhead. You see, the end result is same. In that sense, actually there is no discriminatory. But in the material world, a CEO and a driver, the end result is not same. The CEO's salary is different, his luxuries are different, his car is different. A driver's opulences are different. How can there be equality? But in the Varnas, what Krishna has formed, there is equality. Because the ultimate goal is equal. That is Krishna. The society will be chaotic if a person who is naturally inclined to do business, he gets into teaching. Somebody is naturally inclined to teaching, he gets into administration. Or he is serving others. So that is why this Varnashrama system that Krishna has formed is so scientific, non-discriminatory. It is very well designed so that people naturally progress in spiritual life. They become less sinful and be happy. So Krishna is saying Now, when Varnashrama is not followed, when there is adultery in women and men become irresponsible, yes, there will be Varna Shankaras, there will be children who are born who can easily think of others' destruction, and hence, they have the mentality of war. And nowadays, when big intellectual issued a statement, especially children, they say that up to 18 years they should never be exposed to dharma, to spiritual aim. Afterward, let them decide. You see? So they're trying to make even children untrained, which is not going to help society. Because the growth of materialism has not given us the happiness and peace that it has promised. And that you will see in this world. The bitterness, the cold war, the enmity. Enmity is not just due to religion. Of course, there are some things because of religion that is misrepresentation of religion. And we are speaking of true religion here. And then, when there is war, not that there is destruction during the war. Even after the war, there are effects, especially enmity. There is lot of enmity that comes, and there are actions and reactions related to it, and it continues between people, between nations, between communities. And that is a cause of issue. And when there is a war, how should devotees react? How should devotees see? Sometimes it worries us, right? Again, war means I'm just not saying weapon war, I'm also speaking of trade war. Tariff war, somebody say tariff war, all right. So, how do we see it? Because there is anxiety. In a newspaper, you see, $90 billion worth trade is affected now. This percent of tariff for textile industry is affected. People get into, there'll be joblessness. What do we do? How to see it? Prabhupada says, first thing is we should have faith in Lord, but nothing happens without the will of the Lord. Lord is in control. If there is something happening, people deserve it. There's nothing called accident in this world. Unless you deserve, you don't get it. So Lord is in control. And then Prabhupada also says, just like in the forest, due to the cohesion of bamboos, there is forest fire. And this forest fire happens without any external cause. And Prabhupada says, it is because of the cohesion of wrath of this worldly minded people, godless people, there is fire of war. They also say that you are the cause of your own destiny. We need not blame God. God has given us direction how to lead our life so that we can be simple, we can be happy. But again, when we disobey the laws of God, the Lord says, I am very neutral. As you sow, so you deserve. I'll be neutral. I'll be witness. I'll sanction as per your desire. And devotees, when such things happen, luckily we are not experiencing. In case there is a situation where we experience, probably the effect of trade war we might experience. So devotees in any circumstance, whatever circumstance Lord has placed them, have to serve the Lord to the best of their capacity. Just serve the Lord best of capacity, and yes, Lord will help us, Lord will save us. Bhagavatam describes the Kurukshetra war. in the Kurukshetra war, when Bhishma was fighting on the side of Kauravas, he was actually attracted to Krishna. There's a beautiful description that how when the sun rays fell on the beautiful dress of Krishna, Krishna's dress was glittering, and the reflection of the light created a hue which was very attractive. And the ashes that was rising because of the moving of the horses, it was all decorating Krishna's flowing hair. And Krishna's face was wet by pearls of sweat. And seeing this beautiful form of Krishna, Bhishma was so attracted. And then he was shooting arrows, and that was creating wounds, and it was bleeding. And that Bhishma was enjoying. Krishna was also enjoying. But for an outsider, oh, there is pain, there are wounds. But both were enjoying, there's a loving exchange. And then Bhishma was thinking, I am this side, I am this situation, I am in the war, I am fighting Krishna. How can I serve Krishna? Because service means something very pleasant, right? Somebody comes home, you make a nice food, smile, speak nicely, take them around, go on a tour. That's service, that's nice, So Bhishma was thinking, I cannot do it because I'm obligated to fight for Kauravas. I can't be nice. So Bhishma decided, I have only one thing to offer. And what is that? Anger. Have you ever heard of pleasing a person by your anger? You'll see happy couples. You don't say happy, angry couples. Nobody shows stories of couples being angry and fighting and then say, this is ideal life. That's not. But in spirituality, even anger can be used in the service of Lord. Even anger can be offered with love and affection. And that's what Bhishma did. Bhishma Deva took a vow that I'll kill tomorrow Arjuna. And then he had 5 weapons. And by trick, Arjuna took away the weapons and Bhishma knew it is because of Krishna. And then he fiercely fought. And he was fighting and Krishna was protecting Arjuna and there was wounds. So for Duryodhana, Bhishma is shooting arrows and there is bleeding. But for Krishna, Bhishma is shooting flowers. It's like throwing lotus petals on him, rose on him. He was enjoying. When Arjuna stopped Krishna, please don't go, don't break your promise. He was angry, no, I'm going to kill Bhishma. And there's a description, Krishna ran towards Bhishma just like a lover gives up everything, run towards another lover. A love affair happening in the battlefield. Anyway, basically, spiritual life is very simple. There is war, no war, whatever you have. Because Krishna doesn't want anything. He is Atma Rama, is fully satisfied. But when you offer to Krishna, what do you have now? You have nothing, pauper, don't worry. So give your time, chant Hare Krishna. You don't have anything, offer water to Krishna. That's it. Whatever your capacity is, you offer, you'll get the same result. So there is a man with $1 billion. He gives very big amount to Krishna as seva. He gives a big donation. There is a man who has only 100 rupees. Maybe he will give 10 rupees out of it because 90 rupees for his maintenance. For Krishna, if this fellow and this fellow have done their best, both are equal. But for us, $1 billion is a big man. I is a small man. But both are equal in Krishna's eyes if they have given the best what they have to the Lord. You know? It is like you had full meals, fully satisfied. One more grain you will vomit. That was satisfied. And somebody gives you sweet. You don't want to take, but still you don't want to make him unhappy. Okay, a little bit. Like that Krishna. Okay, I am satisfied. Okay, you are offering it, Lord. Take it. What you are offering? Oh, you want to offer anger, give it. You want to water, give it. Love, you give it. Whatever and you give, I'll offer. I'll accept, but you offer with love. That's all. So, in whatever position you are, whatever you have, you offer. Offering is not just money. Offering can be anything. You wear a nice tilak, just do walking in your locality. That is also offering, because tilak is the people will remember Krishna. Simple. You can't do anything. Just put tilak and walk around. Very simple. What can you offer? Please offer. As simple as that. So anyway, coming back to our wars. People criticize, hey, what Vedic times there were wars. Kurukshetra war happened. So many people were killed. Yeah, Vedic wars were fought on principles, on Vedic principles. There is a very nice quote where Prabhupada says, wars are fought when Krishna orders a war, it is not war of death. It is war on Maya. When Krishna sees that there is no proper administrator who cannot engage people in spiritual life and save them from this samsara, from the cycle of birth and death, that is when he orders war. And such wars are again fought on principles. Just like in the Kurukshetra war, after sunset and before sunrise, everybody are friends. They're all sportive. They have dinner meets every evening. It's so nice. They're all very nice, friendship, eat well, drink, everything merry, very nice. And morning, they're very nice. Suddenly sunset, sunrise, anger. Fight. Oh, sunset, fight. Oh, sunset. Okay, anger gone. Friends. And again, sunrise, anger. Sunset, anger down. You see how nicely it was the sportive, it was centered on Vedic principles. In fact, in Bhagavatam says, Mattam pramattan unmattam suptan balam striyam jadam prapannam viratham bhitam na ripum hanti dharma vita. It is said during the war, women, children, old people, those who surrender, those who are careless, they are never killed. Unlike the modern wars, there is absolutely no discrimination. And the leaders, even Yudhishthira, when there is a proposal, he's seeing that all our good attempts are failed. When there is a call for the war, it is inevitable. Yudhishthira was thinking, all my relatives, my cousins, my uncles, all of them will be killed. He was thinking, better I give up this, let me go to hell millions and billions of years and suffer than kill. You see how a devotee thinks, Vaishnavas think. They don't, simply wage a war. And next question is, where is the Lord during the war? What is he doing? Why can't he stop the war? What is he doing? Correct? This question comes. Of course, there's a very nice quote of Prabhupada. Prabhupada says that Lord is very neutral when it comes to the war. And the Lord Of course, if there is a dharmic war, only then he will sanction. If the adharmic war, yes, he will not interfere. It is the karmic reaction of the two leaders which determines the results. You know? And the next question is, what about the devotees and the non-devotees? Yes, if the non-devotees, it is the karmic. But if the devotees, Lord will personally protect. In Bhagavatam, there is a description of how Lord Shiva was very fiercely fighting the demons, and somehow he was almost defeated. And he was very morose. Oh, I'm losing. Now Krishna knows that he is my devotee. So Krishna provided him with all the intelligence and weapons so that he can win the war. So if the devotees are fighting on religious principles, yes, Lord will personally protect, give him all the intelligence, give him the right weapons so that they will win the war. So Lord will personally interfere. Or else he will not interfere, he is neutral. If there fight between two non-devotees, it's a non-Vedic war, it's self-centered war, driven by personal motivation, Lord is very neutral. The law of karma will take over. You know? Now, how do devotees react when there's actual war? Oh, we got the perception. You know, in Amritsar, all of a sudden there were high sirens and there was a blackout. In the nights, all 100% powers cut. Because in case, there is a war, they cannot see where are lights and they're all saved. So this is happening. You're inside home, there is blackout, there is fire warning, there are missiles fired, or their drone, their anti-drones technology is working, you're seeing. How should you feel? Now, let's come practically. How do we do it? How do we respond to this? What do you think? Some of you can answer. They're saying chant Hare Krishna. Then, yes. Okay. 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 Any other answers? Somebody behind, you want to answer? Sorry? Okay. Devare kapadappa. Kelade beda. Because in one of the lectures, Prabhupada says, material danger is not meant for devotees. Sometimes the members of Krishna conscious society are afraid of the impending danger of world war and ask what would happen to them if a war should occur. In all kinds of danger, they should be confident that their protection by the Vishnu Dutas or the Supreme Personality, God Himself, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Kaunteya Prachidanati Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. So, material danger is not meant for devotees. So the next question is, okay, on one side Krishna is telling, no, I am not involved in the war, I am impartial. On the other side he is saying, not a blade of grass moves without my sanction. So Krishna is sanctioning on one side, on the other side he is saying is neutral. Sanction and neutral. How do you understand this? So there is war, people are dying. So has Krishna sanctioned or is he neutral? How to understand it? You see, people, because of their sinful activities, when they deserve to be killed. So there are certain numbers. They deserve the death. So Krishna knows. So law of nature will execute their death. But if there is a man-made disaster, Krishna will dovetail that. Such that even in the war, people who die are only people who deserve to die. People who don't deserve to die, they survive. When the plane fell down, one person survives. He says, I plane falls, my emergency door is opened automatically, it's broken, I just walk down to the hospital. He walks down to the hospital. If Krishna desires, that's it. It's final. Krishna will dovetail so. Similarly in the war, people who deserve only will die, or else others will be protected. People will not die out of accident. It won't happen. Of course, unless you think that, oh, Krishna will protect me and go to Kashmir and stand, okay, fight, let's say Krishna will protect. We are not talking about those things. You tried your best to save yourself and then happens. Whatever happens is Lord's desire. So Lord is in control. See, now you're all worried about weapon war. Think of trade war. Trade war has a lot of consequences. A lot of people will lose jobs. There will be a lot of pain that people will suffer. Of course, it depends on, again, Lord's wish. Lord might give a different direction. It's a different thing. So even that time we should think. Only the purses where the Lord desires has to be empty. Only those purses will be empty. Not all others. Every day, thousands of planes take off and they land. There will be turbulence only in few planes. Now there's a new phenomenon has come called clear air turbulence. So generally if there's turbulence, there are clouds, there is something, pilots will know. That is why they'll say, he'll give a warning. But now there's clear air, peaceful, you're having your food, you're enjoying. Suddenly there is turbulence. This is because of global warming. Out of thousands of planes, which plane will suffer, which plane, who will get how much anxiety, Lord will decide. Thousands are going, one plane, he will blow some air, it's over, there'll be turbulence. It's as simple as it for the Lord. Okay, so war is anxiety, war is painful, war is this thing. So, should we as Krishna conscious devotees propagate that we should not have any wars? Should we abandon wars? Yes or no? Yes, somebody is telling yes, somebody is saying no. How many are saying yes? Okay, somebody like this because they're not sure. How many are saying no? Oh, okay, so that means no is less, remaining is yes, correct? Okay, this is one more war. So war against my talk. So then what about Operation Sindoor? All of you are saying it's wrong. Okay, so Prabhupada says, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for upkeep of law and order. In San Diego, there was a conversation where Prabhupada says, somebody asked me, oh, there is India-Pakistan war happening. What do you think? Prabhupada said it is right. Prabhupada says this, see, Swamiji, what is your opinion about the fight? Prabhupada says, you must fight. And Prabhupada said it was published in all newspapers. So, we are not saying that wars are unnecessary. Wars are necessary to upkeep of law and order. But of course, in this case, clearly you are only defending. When people have killed your men, it was the desire of the Lord that spirit soul was supposed to be in the body and grow spiritually, and you denied the spiritual growth. So you deserve to be punished. And that's why in this case I am saying, when I say what necessary, It is necessary for law and order to make sure that people grow in society, and Vedic system, with Vedic principles applied. Very, very important. And devotees also declare war. Don't think soldiers will fight war, a government will fight trade war, and we'll just chant Hare Krishna mantra. We are also on war mode. Every day we should fight war. And Prabhupada says that, preaching the cult of devotional service, something like declaring war against material life and atheists. So, what is our war? What are our weapons? How do you know that today there are some hundreds of people here? How many of you are in the war mode? How do we know? Our war field is wherever Arunodaya Kirtan happens. We'll have the parade of our weapons. Mridanga is our weapon, Kartal is our weapon, harmonium is our weapon, Prabhupada books are our weapons. Our war is against material life, materialistic people, atheistic people, who are causing so much of anxiety in this world. We want to give them happy. We have launching pads. We have 108 Arunodaya Kirtan launching pads. There is a war pads. So we are always in the war mode. Material life means we declare war against Maya and to make people happy. So war can be stopped by Krishna consciousness. War can be stopped. Prabhupada says, first thing is we need saintly persons. More and more people in the society should become saintly. We need, when there is forest fire, you need big rains to extinguish it. In the same way, in this material world of forest fire, we need the rain from the mercy cloud of a spiritual master. And all of us can be instruments in carrying this mercy water and delivering to others. So we need saintly persons, we need saintly devotees, and we need saintly leaders. More and more in leaders in the society should take up Krishna consciousness. Just like Yudhishthira Maharaj made sure that nobody is in anxiety. When leaders become Krishna consciousness, they work in such a way that they induce people in such a way that they practice spiritual life and they're anxiety free. And people have to engage more and more in saintly works. Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat juhoshi dadati yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Very simple. The sum and substance of this is whatever you have, just offer it to Krishna. That's all. You don't want to serve others, don't worry. Serve Krishna directly. Oh, I don't want to come to temple, doesn't matter. Oh, you're at home, serve Krishna. How? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's all. Just serve. Chanting is serving. You do offering service to Krishna. Offer service to Krishna, you get the benefit. So, this Krishna conscious movement is so wonderful that when people actually practice, their heart transforms. When the heart transforms, then all their sinful reactions are destroyed. The war is happening in this world only because of sinful reactions. This reaction can be destroyed only by Krishna conscious movement. There is no other material means by which you can destroy the sinful reactions. And people have enough accumulated. There is lot of suffering ahead. So this Sankirtana, if you think there is some kind of order in this world, some kind of pleasantness in this world, it is because of still Sankirtana. So even few devotees take up Krishna consciousness and do Sankirtana, it will save the whole world. With this, like to stop. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.